Jake Morrison walked into the giant hall where all the alien leaders sat. His boots made soft sounds on the smooth floor. The hall was huge and made of clear crystal that sparkled with light from 3 different suns. Jake had been in this place many times before, but today felt different. Today would be the last time that the aliens were angry. Very angry. The Zelfarian with the long arms that looked like snakes was waving them around. His skin was purple and covered in slime. Next to him sat the bug people called Kithra. They were making clicking sounds with their mouths. Behind them were the rock people who looked like walking mountains. Jake stopped in the middle of the hall. All the aliens stared at him. Some had big eyes. Some had no eyes at all. Some breathed air like humans. Others breathed different gases that came out of tubes in their chairs. But they all had one thing in common. They all wanted something. From humans. For 300 years, humans had helped everyone. When the snake people fought the bug people, humans stopped the war. When planets had no food, humans brought ships full of grain and meat. When diseases killed millions, human doctors found cures. When alien children had no schools, humans built them and sent teachers. The aliens never said thank you. They just asked for more help. Katie Sullivan sat high above the main floor where she could see everything. She was Jake's second in command. Her brown hair was tied back tight and her uniform was clean and pressed. She had been to 50 different worlds, helped end 12 wars, and saved the lives of thousands of aliens. But when she walked through the stations and cities, the aliens looked at her like she owed them something. Katie remembered last month when the rock people demanded that humans fix their broken machines. They did not ask nicely. They did not offer to pay. They just said humans had to do it because humans were good at fixing things. When Katie asked what the rock people would give in return, they laughed. They said humans like to help, so humans should help for free. That was when Jake decided enough was enough. "We have something to say," Jake announced. His voice was strong and clear. It echoed off the crystal walls. "Humans have served this galaxy for 300 years. We have given our lives, our money, our knowledge, and our time. We have asked for very little in return." The purple snake alien made a rude sound. "Humans are servants. That is what humans do. Humans fix problems. That is your job." Jake felt his jaw tighten, but he kept his face calm. "We have ended your wars. We have fed your hungry. We have cured your sick. We have taught your children. We have protected your trade routes. We have shared our technology for free." "Yes, yes," said the big bug alien. "Humans are useful. This is why we keep you around." Other aliens laughed. The sound was ugly and mean. Katie felt sick to her stomach. These aliens thought humans were like machines, things to be used and thrown away. They did not see humans as equals. They saw humans as tools. Danny Wright was in space above the planet, commanding a fleet of human ships. He was listening to everything through his radio. His ships were the biggest and strongest in the galaxy. Human technology was better than anything the aliens had. But humans had always shared it freely. They had given aliens better weapons, better engines, better computers. All for free. Danny looked at his crew. Men and women who had spent years away from Earth, helping aliens who did not care about them. His weapons officer was Lisa Park. She had lost her brother in a battle protecting alien civilians. The aliens she saved never even learned his name. His engineer was Alex Turner. Alex had spent 10 years teaching alien students how to build better machines. When Alex asked to bring his family to visit, the aliens said no. They said human families were not important. Only human work was important. Danny's communications officer was Sam Foster. Sam spoke 20 different alien languages. He had translated peace treaties, trade agreements, and diplomatic messages. But when Sam asked for help learning about alien culture, they told him it was not for humans to understand. These people had given the best years of their lives to help others, and the others treated them like garbage. "We are tired," Jake continued in the hall below. "We are tired of being taken for granted. We are tired of doing everything while you do nothing. We are tired of being treated like servants in our own." "Galaxy? Your galaxy?" The rock alien's voice sounded like two boulders grinding together. "This is not human galaxy. Humans are young species. We were here first." "You were here first," Jake agreed. "But you were fighting wars, spreading diseases, and destroying planets. Humans came and fixed your problems. We made the galaxy peaceful and safe. We connected your worlds with trade routes. We built the communication systems you use every day. We created the technology that powers your cities. Humans did that because humans wanted to," said the snake alien. "No one forced humans to help. You—" Right," Jake said. "No one forced us. We helped because we thought it was the right thing to do. We helped because we believed in peace and cooperation. We helped because we want to build something beautiful together." Jake paused and looked around the hall. Every alien was watching him now. Even the ones who had been ignoring him before were listening. "But you have shown us that you do not want cooperation. You want servants. You do not want partners. You want slaves. You take our help and give nothing back. You demand more and more while contributing less and less." The aliens started to look uncomfortable. Some shifted in their seats. Others whispered to each other. "Therefore," Jake's voice got louder, "we are giving you one final warning. Learn to solve your own problems. Learn to work together. Learn to treat each other with respect. You have 6 months to show us that you can govern yourselves without human help." "And if we do not?" asked the bug alien, but now his voice sounded worried. "Then humanity will leave," Jake said simply. "We will pack our ships, take our people, and return to Earth. We will close our borders and never come back. You will be on your own." The hall exploded with noise. Aliens shouted and argued. Some laughed and said humans would never really leave. Others looked scared. A few started making demands, saying humans had no right to abandon their duties. Jake was already walking away. Katie met him at the door. Danny's voice came through their radios, telling them the ships were ready to leave if needed. As they walked out, Jake heard the snake alien shouting behind him. "Humans are bluffing. Soft-hearted humans will never abandon Galaxy. Humans need to help. It is what humans do." Jake smiled sadly. They would learn. In 6 months, they would all learn what the galaxy was like. Without humans to fix everything, the countdown had begun. 6 months passed like a bad dream. Lisa Park stood on the bridge of the UES Resolute, watching the last human colony disappear behind them. The ship was packed with families, scientists, teachers, and workers who had called the Outer Rim home. For generations, children pressed their faces against the windows, saying goodbye to the only worlds they had ever known. Lisa had commanded evacuation ships before, but never like this. Usually humans evacuated because of wars or natural disasters. This time they were leaving because nobody wanted them anymore. The aliens had made their choice clear. They thought humans were bluffing. They thought humans would never really abandon the galaxy. They were wrong. Alex Turner sat in his quarters, packing the last of his research. For 15 years he had worked as the chief science advisor to the Galactic Council. He had shared human knowledge freely. He had taught aliens how to cure diseases, how to grow better food, how to build cleaner energy systems. His work had saved billions of lives across hundreds of worlds. The aliens never understood how much work it took. They thought human technology was like magic. They thought humans just waved their hands and problems went away. They never learned how the machines worked. They never tried to understand the science behind the cures. They just wanted the results without doing any work. Alex had tried to teach them. He had built schools and sent human professors to alien worlds. But the aliens were lazy students. They wanted to know just enough to use human technology, but not enough to improve it or maintain it. When Alex suggested that aliens should contribute their own research, they laughed. They said humans were better at thinking, so humans should do all the thinking. Now Alex was uploading everything to the Galactic Archives. Every human discovery, every piece of technology, every scientific breakthrough. The aliens could have it all. But without humans to explain how it worked, Alex wondered how long it would last. Sam Foster was busy in the command center on Earth, coordinating the biggest move in human history. 12,000 colonies across 800 worlds. 2 billion humans coming home. It was like trying to organize the migration of an entire species. The logistics were nightmare. Every ship had to be loaded with people, supplies, and equipment. Travel routes had to be planned so the ships would not crash into each other. Food and water had to be calculated for journeys that would take months. But the hardest part was not the planning. The hardest part was watching humans say goodbye to lives they had built. On Kepler Prime, human farmers had grown food that fed 3 different alien species. On Ross 128, human doctors ran hospitals that served the entire sector. On Proxima Station, human engineers maintained the jump gates that connected dozens of star systems. All of that was ending. The humans were coming home, and they were taking their knowledge with them. Sam watched the reports coming in from across the galaxy. The aliens were starting to panic. The Mantid Collective had sent angry messages demanding that humans stay and fulfill their obligations. The Christari Empire had offered to pay humans for the first time in centuries, but only a tiny amount that would not even cover fuel costs. Most aliens still believed humans would change their minds. They thought human kindness would win in the end. They thought humans were too soft-hearted to really abandon them. They did not understand that humans had hearts, but they also had pride. Beth Hayes was one of the last humans to leave the Centauri sector. As a colonel in the human peacekeeping forces, she had spent 20 years stopping alien conflicts before they became wars. She knew every species in her sector, spoke their languages, understood their cultures. Beth watched her final briefing with alien leaders. The bug people were already preparing for war against the rock people. Without humans to mediate, old disputes were heating up again. The snake people had stopped trading with the bird people over an insult that happened 50 years ago. 3 minor species had declared independence from the larger empires, knowing that human peacekeepers would no longer force them to obey. "You cannot leave us like this," pleaded the local Zeltharian governor. His tentacles were pale with fear. "Without human peacekeepers, there will be chaos." "Then do not let there be chaos," Beth replied. "You are all intelligent species. You can learn to talk to each other instead of fighting." "But humans are good at making peace," the governor said. "We are not. We do not know how." "Because you never tried to learn," Beth said sadly. "For 300 years, humans have solved your problems for you. We made peace so you did not have to learn how to make peace. We fixed your mistakes so you did not have to learn from them. We were trying to help, but we made you weak instead." The governor did not understand. None of them did. They had become like children who never learned to walk because their parents always carried them. Beth's ship left that night. Behind her, she could already see the first signs of trouble. Military ships were moving toward borders. Trade negotiations were breaking down. Communication channels that humans had maintained for decades were going silent. Danny Wright stood in his apartment on Luna, looking at Earth through his window. The blue and green planet had never looked so beautiful. After 30 years in space, helping aliens who barely tolerated his presence, he was finally home. Danny had commanded the human fleet that protected alien trade routes from pirates. His ships had escorted thousands of alien merchant vessels through dangerous space. Human technology made those ships faster and safer than anything aliens could build alone. But the aliens had never said thank you. They had never offered to help, patrol their own trade routes. They just expected humans to do it for free. Forever. Now, those trade routes were unprotected. Reports were already coming in of pirate attacks. Alien merchants who had grown soft and careless were easy targets. Some were calling for help, but the human ships were gone. The galaxy's economy depended on trade between different worlds. The Andromedans made the best weapons. The Crystari grew the best food. The rock people mined the best metals. But without human ships to carry goods safely between worlds, that trade was already slowing down. Katie Sullivan walked through the streets of New Geneva, Earth's capital city. These streets were crowded with returning humans, families reuniting. After years apart, veterans sharing stories of alien worlds, children seeing Earth for the first time. There was sadness in the air, but also relief. Humans were tired of being the galaxy's servants. They were tired of fixing everyone else's problems while their own needs were ignored. They were tired of being treated like tools instead of people. Katie had files full of requests from alien governments, desperate pleas for humans to come back, promises to treat humans better, offers of money, resources, anything humans might want. But it was too late for promises. The galaxy had 300 years to show respect for humanity. Instead, they had shown contempt. Now they would learn what the galaxy was like without humans to clean up their messes. Earth's borders were sealed. Humanity was done with the galaxy. The galaxy would have to survive on its own. 2 years had passed since the last human ship left alien space. Rick Stevens sat in his office on Luna Station, reading reports that made his stomach hurt. The galaxy was burning, and it was burning fast. Rick commanded Earth's intelligence division. His job was to watch what happened in the galaxy after humans left. He had hoped the aliens would learn to work together. He had hoped they would grow up and solve their own problems. Instead, they were destroying everything humans had spent centuries building. The war between the Andromedans and the Crystari had started 6 months ago. It began with a trade dispute over mining rights in the Vega system. Before humans left, such disputes were settled in courts with human judges. Now there were no courts, no judges, and no one to stop angry aliens from shooting each other. 17. Star systems were now battlefields. The Andromedans used their superior weapons to attack Crystari colonies. The Crystari used their knowledge of biology to create plagues that killed Andromedan soldiers. Both sides targeted civilian populations, something humans had never allowed during their peacekeeping years. The death count was already in the billions. Nancy Lewis studied tactical reports from her command post on Luna. As Earth's top military officer, she watched the alien wars with professional interest and personal sadness. The alien militaries were making every mistake in the book. They had no strategy, no coordination, no understanding of how to fight efficiently. For 300 years, human peacekeepers had prevented these wars. When conflicts started, humans stepped in quickly to stop them. Humans had negotiated ceasefires, prisoner exchanges, and peace treaties. Humans had taught aliens that wars were expensive and stupid, and that talking was better than fighting. But the aliens had never really learned those lessons. They had just followed human orders. Without humans to tell them to stop fighting, they fought like animals. The Zeltharian Trade Federation was collapsing. Their currency had been backed by human economic guarantees for over a century. When humans left, that guarantee disappeared overnight. Now Zeltharian money was worthless. Paper. Planets that had traded exclusively in Zeltharian credits could not buy food, medicine, or fuel. Nancy watched reports of riots on 12 different worlds. Alien populations were starving because their governments could not afford to import food. The Zeltharians had never learned to manage their own economy. They had let humans do all the hard work of balancing budgets, controlling inflation, and maintaining trade relationships. Ryan Cooper ran Earth's Alien Studies program. His job was to understand what was happening to alien societies as they fell apart. The results were worse than anyone had predicted. The alien species had never developed their own conflict resolution skills. For 300 years, whenever two groups disagreed, they called for human mediators. Humans were neutral, fair, and good at finding solutions that made everyone happy. Without humans, aliens did not know how to solve even simple disputes. On the Kithura homeworld, two hive clusters were fighting over water rights. Before humans left, this would have been solved with a human arbitrator in a few days. Now the fight had been going on for 8 months. Thousands of Kithura had died, and the water was being polluted by the fighting. Ryan watched video reports from across the galaxy. Families split apart by arguments that no one knew how to resolve. Businesses failing because partners could not agree on basic decisions. Governments paralyzed because different factions refused compromise. The aliens had become like children who never learned to share. When parents were around to force sharing, everything worked fine. Without parents, the children fought over every toy until they broke them all. Julie Barnes commanded a patrol ship on the edge of human space. Her job was to watch for alien refugees trying to enter the solar system. Every day, more ships arrived, begging for permission to land on Earth. The refugee fleets were heartbreaking to see. Ships barely holding together, packed with families who had lost everything. Some aliens had been traveling for months, using the last of their fuel to reach human space. They sent desperate messages, pleading for food, medicine, and protection. Julie's orders were clear. Turn them away. Humanity had sealed its borders. Earth Command would not risk humans getting pulled back into alien conflicts. The galaxy had made its choice when it treated humans like servants. Now it would live with the consequences. But following orders did not make it easier to watch alien children starving on broken ships, that the communication networks were failing. Human engineers had built and maintained the quantum relay stations that allowed instant communication across the galaxy. Without humans to repair them, the stations were breaking down one by one. Planets that had been able to talk to each other instantly now faced communication delays of weeks or months. Trade negotiations that once took hours now took so long that the deals were worthless by the time they were completed. Military coordination became impossible when commanders could not talk to their own fleets. Scientific cooperation had completely stopped. Before humans left, alien researchers shared data across thousands of worlds. Human scientists had organized conferences, managed databases, and translated research between different alien languages. Without that organization, each species was working alone, making the same mistakes over and over. Several plagues were spreading without human medical intervention. The Tau Ceti plague had been contained for 50 years by human doctors who understood both alien biology and human medical techniques. With human doctors gone, the plague was spreading to new species, mutating in ways that alien doctors could not predict or stop. Food shortages were becoming famines. Human agricultural scientists had taught aliens how to grow crops efficiently, how to prevent diseases in livestock, and how to distribute food fairly. Without human expertise, crop yields were dropping every year. Some worlds were already experiencing mass starvation. Matt Turner, Earth's Secretary of Defense, read reports of 12 species facing complete extinction. These were not small, primitive groups. These were major civilizations with billions of citizens and hundreds of colony worlds. They were dying because they had forgotten how to take care of themselves. The most tragic cases were the client species. These were small alien groups that had put themselves under human protection centuries ago. They had given up their own militaries and governments, trusting humans to keep them safe. When humans left, bigger alien empires immediately attacked them. Without human protection, these peaceful species were being enslaved or exterminated. Matt felt guilty about abandoning them, but Earth's government had been clear. Humanity could not save everyone. If they tried to help the client species, they would get pulled back into galactic politics. The cycle of dependency would start all over again. Earth remained silent while the galaxy screamed. Human monitoring stations recorded every battle, every famine, every plague, and every extinction. The data would be valuable someday when humans tried to understand how civilizations collapsed. But for now, humans could only watch as everything they had built was destroyed by the very people they had tried to help. 5 years had passed since humanity walked away from the galaxy. Matt Turner stood at the window of Earth's defense headquarters, watching alien ships drift at the edge of the solar system. They had been waiting there for 3 weeks, too damaged to run, too proud to beg. Matt was now Earth's Secretary of Defense. His job was to protect humanity from outside threats. But these aliens were not threats. They were refugees, the last survivors of civilizations that had once ruled star systems. The lead ship sent the same message every day. A Zeltharian named Vrex 9 spoke in broken human language, asking for permission to approach Earth. His words were humble and desperate. This was the same species that had called human servants 5 years ago. President Claire Morrison sat in her office, reading reports about the alien delegation. Claire was Jake Morrison's daughter. She had grown up hearing stories about the ungrateful aliens who took human help for granted. Now she had to decide whether humanity would help them again. The galaxy was dying. Of the 43 major civilizations that once belonged to the Galactic Council, only 18 were still alive. The rest had been destroyed by wars, plagues, famines, or civil wars. Entire species had gone extinct. Whole star systems were empty ruins. The survivors were not the proud, arrogant aliens who had laughed at human warnings 5 years ago. They were broken people who had lost everything. Their technology was failing. Their governments had collapsed. Their children were dying of diseases that human doctors could have cured easily. Gary Hall commanded Earth's most advanced fleet. His ships were decades ahead of anything the aliens had ever built. During humanity's 5 years of isolation, human technology had advanced at incredible speed. Without the burden of helping others, humans had focused on improving themselves. Gary's ships used quantum engines that could cross the galaxy in days instead of months. Human weapons could destroy planets from light years away. Human computers could predict the future with frightening accuracy. Human medicine could cure aging and death itself. The aliens had nothing left to offer. They were like children asking adults for help. Gary escorted the alien ships to Luna Station for the meeting. The aliens' vessels were pathetic compared to human ships. They moved slowly, leaked atmosphere, and barely had enough power to maintain life support. These were once the masters of space travel. Now they could barely fly. Vrex 9 was brought to the meeting room in a wheelchair. The proud Zeltharian leader who had once dismissed human warnings was now old, sick, and broken. His purple skin was pale and wrinkled. His tentacles shook with weakness. When he saw the human delegates, he began to cry. "Please," Vrex 9 whispered. "We were wrong. We were so very wrong. We did not understand what humans meant to us until you were gone. We thought you needed us, but we needed you. We need you now more than ever. Claire listened to his words with mixed feelings. Part of her felt sorry for the broken alien. Part of her remembered all the times aliens had insulted and dismissed humanity. Part of her wanted to help. Part of her wanted justice. "Tell me what happened to your people," Claire said quietly. Rex 9 took a shaking breath. "When humans left, we thought we could manage alone. We had human technology. We had human knowledge stored in our computers. We thought that was enough. We were fools." He explained how everything fell apart. Without human engineers, their machines broke down and could not be repaired. Without human doctors, simple diseases became deadly plagues. Without human teachers, their children stopped learning. Without human peacekeepers, every disagreement became a war. We tried to use human technology, but we did not understand it. We tried to copy human solutions, but we did not understand the problems. We were like children playing with tools we could not use. We hurt ourselves and everyone around us. Ryan Cooper, now Earth's top alien expert, had studied the collapse. For 5 years, he knew every detail of how the galaxy had destroyed itself. The aliens had made every possible mistake. They had proven that advanced technology meant nothing without wisdom to use it properly. "Your people called humans servants," Ryan said. "You said humans existed to solve your problems. Why should we help you now?" Rex 9 looked ashamed. "Because we learned. We learned that humans were never our servants. Humans were our teachers, our protectors, our friends. We were too proud and stupid to see it. We thought strength meant taking from others. You showed us that real strength means giving to others." Julie Barnes had spent 5 years patrolling Earth's borders, turning away alien refugees. She had watched thousands of ships limp away from human space, their passengers doomed to die in the cold darkness between stars. It had been the hardest job of her life. Now Julie sat in the meeting room, listening to Rex 9 beg for humanity's return. She thought about all the aliens she had turned away. Good people who had suffered because their leaders were too proud. "To learn. What do you want from us?" Julie asked. "We want to learn," Rex 9 said. "Not to use you, not to take from you. To learn from you. We want to become better people. We want to earn your respect. We want to be worthy of your friendship." The debate lasted for months. Earth's government was split into 3 groups. Some wanted to help the aliens immediately, out of compassion for their suffering. Others wanted guarantees and contracts that would prevent the old problems from happening again. A third group wanted nothing to do with the galaxy ever again. Claire listened to all sides. She read reports from human psychologists who said the aliens had truly changed. She read reports from human historians who said people never really changed. She read letters from human families who wanted to help. She read letters from human veterans who never wanted to see another alien dot in the end. Claire made her decision based on what her father had taught her. Jake Morrison had always said that the strongest people were those who helped others become strong. The galaxy was weak now, but it could learn to be strong. Claire announced humanity's choice to the waiting galaxy. Humans would return, but not as servants or saviors. They would return as teachers and partners. The aliens would have to earn human help by proving they could change. There would be new rules. Aliens would contribute to galactic society instead of just taking from it. Every species would share their knowledge and resources. No one would be allowed to depend completely on others. Everyone would have to learn to solve their own problems. The age of human sacrifice was over. The age of cooperation was beginning. Gary's ships began preparing for departure. They carried doctors, teachers, engineers, and peacekeepers who would help rebuild the galaxy. But this time, they also carried observers who would make sure the aliens kept their promises as the first human ships left Earth in 5 years. They carried a message to the surviving civilizations. Humanity was coming home to the galaxy, but the galaxy would have to prove it deserved them. The stars waited for humanity's return. This time, the galaxy would listen. This time, the galaxy would learn. This time, things would be different. Or humanity would walk away again, and this time it would be forever.